It's time to talk fantasy football. It's time to let them know. Where you let us crunch the numbers while you crush the competition. So grab your playbooks and crack a cold one, because here's your hosts, Teak and Baney.
Hot Tua, we about to spit on these sits.
Yeah.
So, like last episode, thank you guys again for the sits episode last week. We're gonna continue that momentum here. Okay. We had a good sits episode. Badge. I don't think you realized it, but it was a banger, believe it or not.
It popped off, that's for sure.
It did. But let's talk about the top sit for the podcast here. Top sit of last week was Jalen Waddle with 6.6 fantasy points. He had 4 catches for 26 yards. As you can see, the list goes down there. Herbert, Quentin Johnson, Sutton, Stafford, all great sits. We did flub one, unfortunately, but hey, we're allowed to miss one here or there. You know, Aaron Jones, 27.8 points. Hey, 5 out of 6 ain't bad.
Anyone who says they're right 100% of the time is a damn liar.
Absolutely. But we're gonna keep that same energy going into this week here. I'm gonna start it off with the sits here. You're gonna like my first sit here. I'm going QB. I'm going Anthony Richardson. This will be a low scoring game, as we all know, watching these Pittsburgh games. Badge can attest to. Mainly, I see this game playing out with the running backs and the running the football, but Richardson has struggled against good defenses and taking care of the football, where he has more picks right now than TDs. He averaged about 194 yards in a TD with 2 picks in a game. I just can't see his struggles continuing here at home against Pittsburgh, who Badge is known for their defense.
Yeah, so this is kind of like bittersweet for me because, as Teague knows, I have a ton of shares of Anthony Richardson in fantasy leagues. Don't forget, though, this is pretty much his rookie year because he got injured last year early on. Killed it. Week 1, he went 31. I don't disagree with the sit at all. I mean, this Pittsburgh defense has been playing out of their mind. I mean, the only hope here is get a couple rushing touchdowns, get another touchdown, and hopefully he can sneak it out. But, I mean, if you can sit him, you got a better matchup.
This is what I'm looking at, Badge, right now. Would you say the Bears' defense is better than Pittsburgh's?
Negative.
He had 7 fantasy points, as you can see on the screen there, last week. 2 picks, 167 yards, and 8 carries for 24. I don't like this at all. I was like, you might have to hope and pray, for someone to come loose in the end zone or something.
Yeah. This week, tough matchup. Definitely agree with the sit. I'm not giving up on him long term, though. Like I said, I believe in this guy. I got a lot of shares of him. So for the long term, I'm riding with him. This week, I'm riding against him.
And when he says he has a lot of shares, during drafts, he thought it was Easter and he put all of his eggs in this basket.
I did.
So if it doesn't pan out for good old Badge, it's not looking great.
I'm sitting good in most of my leagues, though, so I'm not. I got wins in all my leagues. So one league with Richardson, I'm 3-0. One, I'm 2-1. One, I'm 1-2. So I got hope for the guy. Don't give up. He's going to be just fine. We're going to see week 1 performances of the 30 points. He's going to get it. The guy's flashy. He's building a lab. But, yeah, this week, tough matchup.
All right. You going to hit us with your first sit here or what?
Yeah, I'm actually staying in the same game here. So I'm sitting Michael Pittman against the Steelers. So the Steelers defense allowing the 8th least fantasy points to the wide receiver position. The pass rush does not help. The secondary's been playing exceptional, minus the flags in the first 2 weeks. Last week, no flags. That got fixed. kudos to Mike Tomlin. This Pittsburgh defense been allowing the fewest points scored per game. I'm a huge shareholder, as I mentioned, of Anthony Richardson. So again, this is bittersweet. I actually got Pittman in a league too, paired with him. So, but this is not the week. I'm avoiding him in DFS, and if I can sit him, I got to look at my lineup. I might be sitting him this week as well.
Yeah. It's tough because I'm big on Pittman. Last year I was huge on Pittman. Do I dare say he looked better with Minshew? I don't know. Minshew in that
Different
system looked
styles.
pretty good. He doesn't look obviously good in Vegas, but he looked good in that Indy system. But yeah, this is a tough sit, and yeah, I'm all for the sit right now.
Yeah,
This offense is struggling.
if you guys can't afford to sit him, you don't have a better option. I mean, play the matchup. Look what you got. Like we talk a lot about matchups. Look at the highest scored points for wide receivers, and just see if you can do it. I mean, don't get. I wouldn't. You guys know what I'm saying. So just be careful. Get your matchups. If you got a better option, like maybe even a Deontay Johnson on the bench, and you're sitting 3-0, make a play. Be that fantasy genius. Shock your opponents. Definitely DFS avoiding.
Oh, for sure. To follow suit with the wide receivers here, I'm sitting Cortland Sutton this week. The Jets tend to shut down the below average offenses so far in the league, and that's exactly what the Broncos are. Bo Nix is coming along, but the New York Jets defense holds opposing wide receiver one to about 60 yards a game. If you go back these 3 weeks and look at the receivers, all kind of similar in a sense that they're speedy receivers. Sutton's just not that. He's a big body receiver, red zone threat. I think this defense shuts down this offense this week at home.
Yeah, that Jets defense, I mean, that's tough to start anyone. I mean, especially Sutton, you probably have a better option. I mean, on the plus side for Sutton owners, week 1, he had 12 targets. Week 3, last week, he had 11 targets. So that's a plus side for you Sutton owners. Not the matchup this week. This Jets defense is absolutely, they're disgusting. And they're still figuring stuff out. I mean, they gave up some big plays. I think the Broncos are at an all-time high after last week, coming out, slinging the rock. They're going to come right back down to reality. I'm sitting them as well. I agree completely, Teak.
And DFS wise, he's kind of similar price wise on DraftKings and FanDuel. So, I mean, I think what DraftKings average salary is what $5,500 compared to what's DraftKings or FanDuel badge.
The average probably around 7.
So he's below average on FanDuel, so that's a big jump then.
75, right around there.
But your next sit?
So my next sit, I'm saying this just because I'm doing Seattle running backs at Detroit, whether it's Kenneth Walker or Zach Charbonnet. So I'm sitting them both this week. I know Walker's been hurt. He's listed currently as questionable. Whether he plays or not, I'm sitting him. Charbonnet coming off a great game. I'm sitting him as well. This Lions defense against the running backs allowing only 5.3 fantasy points so far this year. That's the lowest in the league. So they're also allowing only 46 rush yards to opposing running backs and also 1.7 receptions currently to opposing running backs. They're very good so far at defending this position. So only thing you can hope for is a goal line touchdown on the 1-yard line. These are both lows. Not a favorable matchup. Again, I'm avoiding either running back who plays this week in Seattle in lineups, fantasy lineups, and DFS.
I don't know if I can comment on this one. I'm not sure. I'm up in the air. Obviously the stats say it's not a good start. I think Charbonnet is finally coming into his own as well. 18 carries, 91 yards, and 2 TDs. Yes, you can say Miami's weak at offense, but their defense is okay. There's not nothing to write home about, but they're like middle of the road, I believe, right? Right
They're
now in the
not
power
playing
rankings.
towards their potential on paper, Miami's defense, in my opinion.
Yeah, obviously they're going to be on the field more because of the offense. You can testify that for more points that people are going to score on them as well, them being tired. But man, I'm it's a flip coin, but I'll go with Badge and we'll take the sit for
Yeah,
Charbonnet.
and again, guys, this is just a numbers play. I just look at the averages and play the numbers. That's how you win money in DFS and win matches. But again, if you can't afford to sit them in your leagues, you don't have a better option. I understand completely.
Third and final sit here for me. Oh, man, golly, Travis Kelsey. Sit him till further notice. All right. I don't know if it's the Taylor Swift drama. I don't know if it's the play calling. Mahomes just doesn't want to throw him the ball. There were times in the Falcon game where he was open and Mahomes just didn't throw it to him. Uh, he's averaging 23 yards a game this season. His worst season. I just have no words for it whatsoever. What's going on? I don't care if he pops off this week and just the chance of him ruining my lineup till whatever this passes, I'm sitting him. So if he blows up, so be it. That I'm fine with it because I can't hinder my roster anymore. Just can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, so far 3 games. I mean, he had the targets is concerning. That's what's concerning to me as well. Week 1, 4. Week 2, 3. Week 3, 5. I mean, this is supposed to be a Mahomes boy, his guy, his safety blanket. So, I mean, the tight end position all around this year has been kind of But if you were like Teak, he hedged his bet. When he got Kelsey, he has Brock Bowers. So if you have a Brock Bowers, I would definitely consider starting him over Kelsey. I mean, I don't know what's going on. Maybe Swifty and him are button heads. Maybe she's sticking him with too many dinner bills. I don't know. But something's going on. Mahomes, get this boy the rock. All these fantasy owners took the value pretty early for a tight end. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, like I said, if you're like Teak and you got Bowers,
I don't know if our image guy can put up a picture of his new look as well. He looks miserable. Every time he takes off the helmet, dude, he does not look happy to even be there.
I mean, yeah, if you're only getting the ball, looks 3 looks a week or 4 looks a week, yeah,
Uh,
average 4 targets a game so far.
is this the year Kelsey falls off and this is like the goodbye here coming up or what? I
I think we'll see a rise. I'm not giving up on Kelsey yet. I mean, you got to use Kelsey. It's Travis Kelsey.
you gotta, but I
They're
mean,
3-0. They're
but
winning. Hopefully,
I understand that, but Rasheed Rice is running his routes now. Rasheed Rice is in the slot. They're moving him around. He's running Kelsey's routes. That's what's concerning to me, and that's what I realized during the Falcons game. And that was another start by us that we can pick that out. We watch a ton of football. We don't leave our couches when football's on. So like we got red zone. Badge has like 4 computers up. It's looks like NASA when we're watching football. So
oh man, yeah. But Kelsey, step it up. Quit dropping the ball too. That one hits you right in the hands. I'm sitting here sipping a beer. Catch the ball, buddy. Eating a Cheeto.
and to wrap it up, who's your last sit here?
So my last sit, I never thought we'd be talking about this, because I was big on this guy coming in. I'm starting again, or I'm sitting again. Well, on the podcast, TK sat him last week. Jalen Waddle against the Titans. So who would have thought? Because again, I was big on him this year. I thought he was going to have a big bounce back year. He was riddled with injuries. It's not him. It's the quarterback situation going on. So for the second consecutive week, this man finds himself on our sit list. Um, Not only does the Finns quarterback play concern me, I mean, yeah, their best play right now is you got to put Tyler Huntley in. And what does he specialize in? Is option, run, options. So they're going to be doing that. And this matchup, too, I mean, the Titans, everyone's watching Will Levis. No one's paying attention to the defense. So the Titans' defense has been sneaky, stingy against wide receivers in fantasy. They're allowing the third least fantasy points to this position. So sneaky, stingy. This matchup's not favorable. The quarterback situation in Miami is not ideal. I'm staying away until Mike McDaniel can figure this out. I'm sitting him DFS as well. Again, I was big on Waddle. Hopefully he can turn it around. I love the guy. I love the player. I just don't love the situation. And again, a sneaky matchup against the Titans. I'm sitting Jalen Waddle.
I always forget the QB's name that they have in right now.
They got Tim Boyle. Skylar Thompson went
Skylar
down.
Thompson, yeah.
Tim Boyle. Now
There's a
they're
lot of
talking.
heat coming down on McDaniels right now because he's not switching up the play calls that Tua would run compared to these other quarterbacks. They're not the same quarterbacks. Yeah, we know I'm not a fan of Tua, but he's way better than these backups.
Yeah,
So you got to switch the system. It doesn't work. That's like Mahomes. You're running Mahomes and you have Brady Quinn trying to run the same play calls and getting out of the pocket like Mahomes does. It's just not going to work. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, you got to put Tyler Huntley in, and you got to mimic the Ravens when they did it. I mean, Tyler Huntley, guys, he made the Pro Bowl. He wasn't flashy. He was scrappy. So he did a lot of run options to the running back, played his strengths. McDaniel needs to mimic that, and that's not favorable for wide receivers. So hopefully Tyreek doesn't get upset, Waddle doesn't get upset, but you got to win games until you get your guy back, Tua.
I just want to put it out there. Wow, when Tua got drafted, can we put this to rest finally? Herbert should have been the pick. Herbert should have been the pick. Herbert's running around with a guy named Ladd.
And
So,
Quentin.
yeah. And Quentin's rookie season was oof.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, Herbert, I think, would give Herbert those weapons in this system with Mike McDaniel. I feel he's going to do very well. Herbert has a lot of heart. That guy takes hits. He gets back up. He stays in the game unless he can. So I know me and you always have our debate, Tua and Herbert. Yes, Tua's stats are better. That's what I always come at you with. But Herbert, I thought about it, Teague. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I don't admit,
Herbert,
guys.
Tyreek, he'll have those stats, maybe more.
Comment here because if anyone knows me and TK, me and Teak, we never agree. We love to debate each other. We always love to prove each other wrong too. So I'm admitting he's right. If you gave him Waddle and Reek in Mike McDaniel's system, I think Herbert is the guy.
It's just finally good to hear it. I'm sure some Dolphins fans on their couch on Sundays would agree also. But that's here or there. What we need you guys to do is hit that subscribe button. It's totally free. Leave a comment. We'll chat it up with you. Hey, here's the week 4. Hey, and write your guys' fantasy records, which you guys are right now in the comments as well. Love to hear that as well. But on to the next one, and let's keep it rolling.